In the comments section of one of my recent videos, I received a request to do a tutorial on how I sync my audio with my video in post. So that's what this video's all about.
This is the place for podcasters.
Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian here with Summit City Studios, and this is the place for podcasters. On this channel, we talk about tips, tools, and tech to help you create a great podcast. Now, this particular video is a little bit different than the other ones that I do, but I'd love to do more of these. You see, I've got my studio set up a little bit different. I've got a project going on behind me on my monitor, and working on that project reminded me of a request I received in one of my recent videos about how I sync my video and my audio files in post. So I thought I would show you. It's a process that I thought would be a little bit more complicated than it actually ended up being when I learned how to do it. What I'm filming on right now is the Canon M50. It's probably 4 to 5 feet away from me currently, and a microphone mounted to that camera isn't going to pick me up very well. However, a microphone directly in front of me, a dynamic microphone directly in front of me works great. But I've got to get this audio into what I use here is the Rodecaster Pro. Now, I love this board. I could talk about this board, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about how I get the audio file from the Rodecaster Pro and the video file from the Canon M50 into my MacBook Pro, into Final Cut Pro, and how I sync them together to create the product that you're watching now. As I sit down to record and I make sure camera's recording, Rodecaster Pro is recording, all the levels are good. Before I get into the meat of the content, there's one little thing that I do, and that's simply to clap. Now I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna film the rest of this on my screen. We'll take the audio from this file, we'll put it together, and I'll show you how I sync the two together.
Okay, so we are here on my screen now, and what I've done is I've pulled down the video clips that I need, as you can see right here. So what you can see is the two video clips, or the video clip that I have here and the audio clip that I want to sync. And if you listen closely, you'll notice that they are off.
Up your audio and your video, and I'm going to show you what that is. As I sit down,
now, I don't know if you can hear that well, but what happens is the audio that the camera picks up. Now, the camera was, as I mentioned, 4 to 5 feet away from me, and it doesn't pick up very crisp and clear audio. So what I had to do is had to crank up the level here to 12 decibels, which, again, you're not going to hear it when it first comes in. You can barely hear it. Let me turn the audio file down. Let's see if you can hear just the camera audio.
but before I get into the meat of the content that I'm filming, there's one simple trick that helps sync all of it.
Okay, so that's as loud as the camera audio gets. So I'm going to pull this one back up. I'm going to put it to 0 is pretty quiet, 12 is loud. I'm going to go to about +4 dBs, and you can hear that maybe that they're off a little bit now.
Camera's recording, Rodecaster Pro's recording, all the levels are good.
Okay, so obviously they're not clear. So one thing that I do is I showed you that I clap when I start, and here's what that does. If I zoom in here, you can see the spike in the audio right there. I'm going to turn this one down. And you can see the spike there in the audio when the clap comes. Now, if I pull this one back up, you'll notice there's no spike in that audio. So what I have to do is zoom back out a little bit and find where they match up as best that I can. Now, there may be better ways to do this. I like to do it manually, actually. I think it just gives me a better feel for the audio and what's going on if I can actually see it. Now, I wish this was moving a little faster. I don't know why it's so slow in working this way. But I think that if I move it right here, I think that's about right. You can see the spikes there lining up. You see these kind of lining up, and you see these spikes lining up. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to start right here, and you can see if they're close.
Brian here with Summit City Studios, and I'm doing a short tutorial on how I sync my video and my audio in post.
Okay, so you can tell they're a little off here. And so what I'm going to do is I will zoom in as close as I can. I'll scroll over, and there's the two spikes right there. You can see that they don't line up, but I want to line it up with the video. So this spike right here has to spike at the same time this spike does when I clap. So I'm going to just slide this over. I'll line it up as best I can right there. And now we're going to see how that sounds.
Brian here with Summit City Studios, and I'm doing a short tutorial on how I sync my video and my audio in post.
I don't know that those totally lined up, so let's try that again. I'll back it up here. Not quite exact, so that's the problem. So you zoom in a little bit farther, and then you try again.
Brian here with Summit City Studios, and I'm doing a short tutorial on how I sync my video and my audio in post.
Okay, so that's how that is done. Now there's a couple more steps that I usually do, and that is to extract the audio from that file. Otherwise you will have a bit of an echo in your final recording. I'll link these two together, and I'll create a new compound clip, and we'll just leave it titled that. And now the clean audio that I recorded in the Rodecaster Pro should be lined up with the video that I took on the Canon M50. Let's take a look.
Brian here with Summit City Studios, and I'm doing a short tutorial on how I sync my video and my audio in post. So that's how I sync my video file with my audio file in Final Cut Pro. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you have things that you're trying to troubleshoot or other questions that you'd like to see me address or tutorials you'd like to see me create on this channel, drop those in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're a new podcaster, a podcaster looking to level up your sound, or a podcaster looking for some help with the editing and post-production of your podcast, visit me at summitcitystudios.com to find out how I can help you create a great sounding podcast.